Today is Wednesday, October 12th, 2022, and the reason that I'm making this video is because we finally decided on a greenhouse. My name is Lee. If this is your first time stopping here, thank you for visiting our backyard garden, and we like to make content about gardening, lifestyle, and just what it is to be a suburban backyard gardener here in New Jersey and what we're dealing with our climate. So as you can see behind me, I have a site that we are preparing to receive a greenhouse. This is a very, very exciting time for us because we've been looking at a lot of products and trying to debate what could possibly be the best thing for us to purchase that wouldn't get us into any trouble with trying to receive a structure that's too heavy for us to handle off of a truck or too much for two people. So we went ahead and decided on the Artistry product, which is a cedar greenhouse that is roughly 7 by 8. The inside dimensions are actually smaller than that. It has cedar sidewalls, and it does come with 2 shelves. It has a partial knee wall, and we will post a link so you can see all the details that I'm talking about as I picture it in my mind. So it is a smaller greenhouse, and we did want something bigger, but like I said, we looked at this, and even though we didn't see it in person, we did a ton of research, and we decided that with it being cedar, it's going to hold up in our weather. It has a very sturdy structure. We did a lot of research on all of the online reviews on both Costco and the Artistry page, and it seems that everyone who has gone ahead and purchased it and built it on their own absolutely loves it. And so, you know, with that being said, even though it's cute, it's cedar, it has a lot of features, there are things that we needed to prepare for so that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot when it gets here, knowing that we took on too much without thinking about it. So when we were looking around the yard to try to find a place to build it, one of the things that was important to us was that because it will be primarily for starting seedlings, we wanted it to be somewhat close to the house, close to water, and close to electricity. Now, we are not going to run any kind of dedicated power lines for this. We will not be adding any water lines for this. We're going to work with what we have. So we're keeping it close to the house so I can get to it quickly, I can get to the water quickly, and when we have extreme temperatures that will require any sort of ventilation equipment or heating equipment, we're going to put a piece of conduit into the foundation pad that we're building so that we can run extension cords if we have to, so that we're not really creating anything that's permanent. So the way that we're building this is it will not technically be a permanent structure. It will be really secured down, and I will tell you how we're going to do that. So as you can see behind me, we have an area that is on a grade. And because it's on a grade, it's very, very off level. But our entire backyard runs on a swale. So this area will be in a place where we're dealing with water direction. So we're going to ensure that we build an additional swale so we can let the water run away from it. And we have purchased quarry stone to level off the area behind me. So you have to know how big your pad needs to be. And how well you can level it. Now, some people would pour concrete for this, but we're not doing that. So in preparing the site, we're preparing it so that it can receive 4x4 base beams. We will be getting those at our local supply store, and they are 4 inches by 4 inches, and we'll be buying those posts to be 8 feet long, so we can cut them down to fit the bottom base structure, and we can secure the actual finished structure down to that with some type of decking screws. Now, once we have the area level with preparing it with all of the stone, and this was no small undertaking. The reason I'm showing you this is because I want you to know you have to think about where your structure is going to go. You have to think about the conditions it's going to be in, and you have to think about ease of access and wind and sun and orientation of the greenhouse so that it gets proper light and that your tender seedlings don't get scorched. And so there is a lot to consider, and that's the thing I want to encourage about this, is that there is a lot to consider before you put this structure up. A lot of people will go and say, oh, I have a Harbor Freight product, or I have a Palram and it blew down in the first windstorm and I didn't even have a chance to grow anything in it. Well, you know, part of that is because if you don't have a level foundation and you don't have anything to secure the structure to, you're going to be dealing with wind issues. So because we know we deal with wind issues, we're going to take a few extra steps to make sure we can secure this structure down in this area so that I won't have to lose sleep over it, because I will lose sleep over this. So once we have all of this quarry rock tamped down and level, we're going to add a layer of cinder dust to the top, and then we'll cover it with landscape fabric, and then we will put our 4x4 by 8 beams that have been cut down onto this pad. We're going to pre-drill the sides so that we can attach a turnbuckle or some sort of a heavy weight-bearing clamp to ground anchors that we're going to auger down into the ground next to it, so we know this thing will not blow away. So those beams for the base will be attached to the ground, and the structure will be attached to those beams, but it will not be considered an actual permanent structure. So with that being said, we are preparing to receive the shipment. We are not really sure where it's coming from yet as far as what state, but I did get confirmation that it is coming, it has been shipped from the manufacturer, which again is Yardistry. And I believe they are exclusive to Costco, and you can find this Yardistry greenhouse, cedar greenhouse kit online at Costco.com if you are a member. And you can go ahead and the price includes shipping. So I think with tax it came to a little over $1,800, which we found to be a good investment considering that most of the greenhouses out there are well over that. The one that we really wanted was an 8x12 structure, and that was going to be almost $10,000, plus needing help to actually assemble it, install it, receive the delivery, which was going to be a task in itself. So we went ahead, ordered this about a week ago, received confirmation that it's on its way, and during this time while we're waiting, we're getting everything prepared. So right now we have the corner ready. We're building it on a much bigger plane than the actual structure itself, because for two reasons. We are eliminating our grass so that we can become more responsible environmentally, as we need less water for maintaining grass. I'm a gardener. I don't aspire to just grow grass. I want space to grow food. So this beautiful little greenhouse is going to allow us to do that. It's going to let me have my seedlings out here and access to my kitchen very quickly, so I can make sure if it's too cold, I can bring them in. If it's too hot, I can bring them in. But you know, we're going to make adjustments. If we need to have shade cloth, we will. But there's some things that we're going to learn off the cuff as we go, because this is our first time. So while we learn this process, we will be sharing every step with you, because we want to encourage people to also grow food. So you have to do your research. You have to know what you're getting into, because you don't want to be in a position where you have something that is not oriented properly on your land. You don't want to have to deal with, you know, having it be inaccessible, putting it on a slope when you didn't realize that you had to level your slope, putting down, you know, proper drainage for it, and so on. So we're taking a lot of extra measures to make sure that this will live for a long time and that it will be ready to go up as soon as the delivery comes. So as they deliver it, it comes on a large truck, a freight carrier will be bringing it, and it is a curbside delivery. So the boxes are like 8 feet by 3 feet by 8 inches, I want to say 8 or 9 inches, and the boxes are 2 boxes. They weigh 215 pounds each. So you have to be ready to move it. The carrier will deliver it and they will drop it at the end of your driveway, and it is up to you to get it from the driveway to your site. So that's another reason why we're doing it here, because we're close to our driveway, we're close to our gate, we're close to the house. It won't be too far for us to carry it. So go online, and if you're interested in any of this, and just type in Yardistry Cedar Greenhouse. And I do believe you would have to join Costco in order to order it, but Costco, who doesn't love Costco? It's always worth it to join Costco. So anyway, we are getting ready. This weekend we'll be going to buy the cinder dust. We'll be tamping that down, getting the landscape fabric and covering that, buying the 4x4 post, buying all the connectors for that. We'll be pre-drilling the side for the ground anchors, and making sure that we are completely level, so that when these boxes come, we can get right into assembly and getting it installed. So we are pretty excited. Like I said, I encourage you to know what you're getting into, know what your needs are. We are placing this in a way that it's going to be receiving east light mainly. Okay, so directly behind me is the east, and right now the sun is up in almost its southern position at around noontime. So if you turn the widest part of your greenhouse directly into the south facing sun, anything that you put in there is going to burn. So we want to make sure that this is getting good, strong, radiant light, and the angle of the sun early in the morning in the eastern sky is the healthiest light that you can give direct light to with seedlings, to make sure that they don't burn. And one of the things about this greenhouse that we will probably be amending or working with somehow is that it has an automatic vented roof, and I believe that vent is somehow, it works with beeswax. I don't understand it. This is our first time ordering a greenhouse or working with a feature like this, so we don't really know what to expect, but supposedly once that beeswax melts from a certain temperature, it causes a hinge to open up itself, and it allows a ventilation to happen automatically, and then as the temperature cools down, the window closes itself. Now supposedly there is an override on that will allow you to keep it closed in the event of wind or rain or cold, too cold of a temperature. So we will be working with that as we get it. The bottom of the base does have some vented slots, so we'll have ventilation through that as well. And we're pretty well prepared. We know that we're going to have to add some sort of a fan, so we did see different types of solar fans, so we won't have to worry about running power for that. We just have to figure out where we're going to mount that solar fan. We are actually, like I said, going to still run some gray conduit underneath the rock and up into the area where the foundation will be, so that we can have electricity in, or if we need it, in case we get a really cold night and we just want to do a greenhouse specific heater. So yeah, so this is just, this is just us preparing for our greenhouse. And I like to encourage everyone to be prepared for what you're getting yourself into. This is no joke. I have a very bad back and neck. I really am going to be very limited in how much I actually help in getting this thing assembled. So because of that, we're prepared. We know what to expect for the most part. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of surprises because we are newbies to greenhouses. We're newbies to constructing a structure like this. but we are preparing our site now. So anyway, stay tuned for more progress. I will let you know as the structure arrives. We will be taking video as we further prepare the site to receive the structure, and you know, just what it is that we're going to do. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping in. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, I sure hope that you will consider doing so. Please hit the notification bell for more uploads so that you don't miss a new video. And of course, if you are here because you're planning on building a greenhouse yourself, you'll want to stop back in. So that video will be coming up soon, as we're waiting any day now. I would say within the next 2 weeks or so, we will be building the greenhouse, and we will be making other content in the meantime. So thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you in the next video.